I want to talk about not only objective truth being real, but in this video, objective truth being obtainable to us, meaning we can know it. Not only do we understand that it is out there in the world, and we can think, well, like, if there is objective truth, wouldn't we automatically assume that we could get it? Um, I don't believe that necessarily follows. I think that we've had, since about the early 1960s to now, a degradation, whereas and of course, there have been dips in all different kinds of cultures and societies since the 60s. I believe before that it was there is objective truth and we can know it. Sorry. Had some chips or cookies. Then we had in the 60s, there is objective truth, but we can't know it. That's the boomer generation. Then it went to Gen X where it was there is objective truth, but like, why should we know it? Like, is that really helpful in our everyday experience? Because at the end of the day, this is, it looks like it's here. But whether it is here or not, does that matter? And then you go to the millennials to where it's, there is an objective truth. And then you get the Gen Z where it's, I don't really have a thought of whether there even is objective truth or not. And this is why I believe you have the rampant suicide in Gen Z that you have. I'm not joking. From the year, let's play it safe, 1998, right? I believe they started in 96. It should start in 2000 because millennium, right? That's not true. There's a sociological reason why it should possibly change the name to millennial if it doesn't start at 2000 because of the sociological things that happen to then create a different consciousness in the different generational cultures that happen. I believe that generations are just another kind of culture, American culture, for the terms we're talking about. Although with globalization, there are, like, of course, European boomers and Gen Xers. But anyway, and they have their own things as well. But anyway, real sociology, objective sociology. But anyway, oh, I look better when it's up here more. So anyway, I had that tick. I didn't notice it until I started watching my videos back. 24, I just found out fucking 20 minutes ago. Learn something new about yourself every, well, at this rate, fucking 2 weeks for me at this time in my life. But anyway, so anyway, yes, Gen Z suicide rate. I am Gen Z, not suicidal. Very happy. Don't call mental health police on me. I'm fine. I'm great. That's a part of it as to why you don't know. So basically, how do you know this? First of all, we need to talk about why you don't know about it. So, when it comes to reporting suicide, right? Let's think that through. So, you have someone, you have two parents, which is probably who's gonna find them because Gen Z stays with their parents longer and raises them, and they're a young generation. And you walk into your daughter's room and she killed herself. So, what do you do? I mean, really, you notify the family, and no, you call a morgue first, right? No, you call a hospital. Well, I mean, if they're obviously, you would call the hospital. Well, if you don't have the money, then you wouldn't. Let's say they have the money. Let's say they're means, right? You call the hospital. They take them with them. They're dead, and you get there, and then they say, yeah, they're dead. You then call the morgue. They then take the body. You then have the funeral 3 days later. You call and notify the family. And then what? Is there at any point in the hospital or medical facility where they're going to ask, hey, whenever you met them, whenever you walked in on them, and they were laying there, did they kill themselves? No, there isn't. I don't believe so. There might be. I haven't checked into that, but I just know that there isn't. So I know there isn't. I need to stop caveating like that because I believe in objective truth. God damn it. But I have a primal urge to say I could be wrong, but that's obvious. That should be interwoven in our interactions, right? Because we know that there are people that don't believe that they can be wrong. That's why that's subconsciously there. But anyway, when it comes to Gen Z and the suicide rate, that's why we don't know, because there's no point where there's an obligation for doctors to report it. There's definitely an obligation for parents to say it. Hey, by the way, this person, they killed them. And honestly, it could sound like covering up a crime, right? Like, let's say they slit their wrists, right? I'm not sure what the most popular ways of killing themselves are, but let's say slitting the wrists, right? You take them to the hospital, right? They cut themselves. They've cut themselves. Like, can you prove it? Is that fraud? I have no proof that they did that. What if these people are just covering it up? Like, took them to the hospital. But what if these people just, like, really, you're a doctor, you could lose your license. Are you going to objectively report that that person killed themselves? You would have to do an investigation for every suicide to determine conclusively, to then gather data from all the local municipal hospitals. And people also have to take them to the hospital. Most of the time, they just contact the morgue because they can't afford it, right? Or maybe they just wouldn't want to. Maybe they're just like, well, take them to the morgue because they're dead for sure. No sense. And I agree. Like, if they're dead, why waste the money? Like, you can tell when someone's dead. I would disagree. I would spend the money if I was like a trillionaire or a billionaire or even a multimillionaire. But if you make $100,000 a year and like they slit their wrists and they're there and they're obviously dead, and it's gonna hit you maybe potentially. You don't know how much it's gonna cost, right? Because you don't have pricing. You don't look up on there. Oh, 2 days in the hospital with some medium level care that they clearly described. That's gonna cost however much. You don't know how much it's gonna cost you. I think that's a reasonable thing in this situation, and you would believe that too if you're in this situation. I believe. Yes. So anyway, that's why we don't know the suicide rate. And I challenge you, hire a hacker online. You can hack me if you want to. I'm fine with that. I don't have VPNs or anything. I want to make friends. I'm thinking of whenever I get a following, I'll just charge people to talk to me. Maybe like $50 an hour. Probably like $100 an hour because I want to talk to people who like make 100 grand plus a year. I feel like they're better people and they're more interesting. Specifically, beautiful women. I'm also trying to find a roommate who will let me stay there for free, or if I have other means. I'm going to get into that later. But basically, maybe this YouTube channel, right? That'd be fun. But basically, oh dear Lord, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So, get a yearbook or get a hacker on torrent. You have to get them on torrent to get you a yearbook. And again, it's not scary. Torrent, it's literally just the internet, except not user-friendly at all and just closed. 90% of the stuff on there is actually just normal people just providing services, right? Then you have 5% of it that's like sketchy, like, is this legal or not? And then you have 5% of it that's like, ooh, boy, that's fucking human trafficking. Jesus fucking Christ. But basically, just stay in the 90% and you're good. 80% just, so you're clear of that 10% that is good, but, they wrote that weird, But anyway, I don't know that those percentages, like, for sure. That's just an example of just a vibe. I've never been on torrent except one time when I was 18, but I know that that's how that works. So anyway, yes. Oh, I got a minute and a half. Yes, get a yearbook from Gen Z, ideally 1998 to now, and check death certificates. It's going to be, by my estimates, probably 10%. It's probably conservative. I'm nervous to say that because I haven't looked into this myself. I just did a mental math of my yearbook. I had like 300 people graduate in my class, I believe. And it's like, and I know, I don't have any evidence that 90% of them didn't leave our town or the town that's adjacent that's like 200,000 people, and I don't see them anymore. So, and again, parents are also embarrassed, / what's it going to do to us if people think our kid killed themselves? Are people never going to talk to us again? Are they going to think we were evil, that we drove them to it? There's a lot of things that people think of. So I don't blame the parents for not reporting it. They're probably evil, though, I'm going to be honest. We have an epidemic of psychological abuse in the South when it comes to psychologically hurting our kids so they won't leave, because there's something that goes back to rednecks and white liberals, that goes back to China of owning kids like they did in the South in the antebellum era. But again, I think that's what it is. But look into that. Get a yearbook from a Gen Zer. Do the calculations. Do marriage certificates too. That's a fascinating one. That's it.